Friendship Award from the Russian government for Charlie Bolden. This is from President Putin.
This is a good example what we having, and I'm sure we'll have for the rest of our life.
The thing that I cherished the most was the 2 years I spent with Sergey and Vladimir and their families, getting to know them. So it was the pre-flight and post-flight of STS-60 for a number of reasons. I knew it would be my last flight, so every evolution we did I knew it was the last time. I'm a very emotional person, for those of you who don't know me. So I cried a lot. I cried like a little kid because I knew every training evolution was going to be the last one. So that is the most memorable experience of my time in the space program, was having an opportunity to have friends like this and to bring two cultures together that people probably thought would never be able to work.
I'm going to go through some of those now. One of the questions is, how does space...
Well, the training, I know for sure. It's learning Russian. That was... but for selection, well, first of all, that's a lot of different tests. You know, it's concentration tests, it is multitasking, all kind of interviews that you have, all the medical tests, etc. And when I saw it and I listened to the communication, I thought this is exactly what's important for people. What we look for is team players. You look for people with a technical background, who are adventurous but no daredevils. You look for team players. You don't look for a professor, doctor, engineer who knows everything of one molecule. You want somebody who is broadly interested in science, technology, who likes to work with other cultures. One moment you talk with the Russian technician, then with a Japanese professor, and that makes it very interesting.
Mumble through it.
You always do that to me. Thank you.
But no, I mean, even if you're not taken as an astronaut, space is such an immense challenge and very interesting field to work on. I've been spending much more time on control center consoles and preparing procedures and testing things than I have been in space. 21 days in space, 21 years on the ground, I was never bored. So when you're going through that astronaut selection, are not picked, better have a plan B, which is I stay with space, I help those that finally have the privilege to fly, accomplish their mission.
Around the world to come and watch a NASA evolution, and we made one request. Governments no longer dominate going to space. We now have, it's an emerging industry, and it's going to have a lot of problems. Sergey can tell you that because he's still in it. We have an emerging commercial space industry, and I think over the next few years, you're going to see an increasing number of people train and fly in space who don't belong to NASA, don't belong to ESA, they don't belong to any government organizations.
Believe in yourself. You can do it. All right. We'll see you later.
Period of about 8 years, and I was actually pretty impressed in a negative way at how quickly we can screw the planet up. We have favorite places that all of us have photographed: Lake Chad, the Aral Sea, the Amazon, and every single time you flew, you saw increasing degradation.
Astronaut, have you ever had people tell you that you can't do that?
I wouldn't do a one-way trip to Mars, and several times people approached to me when I was head of Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center, and when we start to select the cosmonauts as the next selection, some people, some journalists...
Imitating life, you know, that inspired him to want to become an astronaut.
And I had seen all that, and it did not turn me on.
Thinking about it and talking with other people about it, we decided now probably if people apply to this program, this is disqualification criteria to be a real cosmonaut, because for people who have suicidal inclination, I would say, this is a not good thing to be professional. Because every time we do things professional way, we have to think how we go and how we return. And if something goes wrong, we need to have backup mode, we have to develop extra systems, we have to return back in order to move forward.
From space.
Well, the Soyuz is very small.
I would like to second your thoughts. I mean, you're in a little spaceship, and it's very easy to open up the hatch. And so I don't think I'd want to be flying with anybody that was like that. Yeah, that's it. My two space flights were pretty close together, but you could...
I want to add, the enormous success of the Martian was bringing Mark back to Earth, not leaving him on Mars. Huh?
Right, right.
Mars ain't the place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell. That's not from me, that's Elton John.
Why change for living your life after you came back from space?